Man, it's just crazy. Like, I mean, literally, like, so much that I feel like has happened just throughout the span of 1 month, and yet, like, here we are. I mean, we got, Drake, who started, I guess, snitching on, YouTubers. Thank the Lord my name wasn't called, because, let's just say I would have beat his ass in court. I would have been like, Your Honor, type shit. On top of that too, academics, he catching a case. And then fucking Anthony Davis gets traded over to the Mavericks. Like, I got a lot of music to cover. I feel like a lot came out, but at the same time, not a lot came out. I think for starters, I do want to kind of start out with like older songs. Rae Sremmurd was Shrem Life. That album turned 10 years old, which is absolutely crazy to me. Like, it does not feel that old. Like, I remember being in middle school and like just you couldn't escape that album. It was just like hit after hit after hit. Not even the craziest kind of like album, but like, I don't know, it's just it brings back memories. My favorite song, and I think it is the most popular song off the album, but No Type. Dude, like, you can't tell me that song's not amazing. I mean, everybody has heard that song. I don't even gotta go into it. Next song actually came out back in December. Swing My Way with Offset. It's a nice little single. I don't know if Offset's coming out with an album yet, but I really like the vibe. I like the beat. I heard a version of the song with Gunna on it, and I'm so thankful Gunna's not on it, because it does not work. And the hook in general is just, it's fun. It's a fun song, I'll say. And this is a bit of a different take from, our regularly kind of, shit. But It's My Life by Jim Ford. Typically when people talk about good country music, this is the kind of music that they're talking about. Something about old music, when you hear, I guess, that static that you do hear because it's so old, dude, it's so, like, I don't know, it adds a sense of nostalgia, and just it adds a lot to, I feel like, those older tracks. What separates, I feel like, this song compared to like, modern day country music is because not all country music is the same. It's not about talking about your Ford F-150 riding on a cowboy. Whoa, what? I meant riding on a horse. I don't know what the fuck is going on with me. It's not about driving a Ford F-150 or riding a horse, or taking a shot of whiskey. Like, dude, it's just, it feels more personal, if anything. And I think, if anything, it's that country music in general kind of has turned more pop centric in a way, but still kind of keeping its own sound to it, while I feel like trying to really appeal to that pop like demographic, Going, I guess, further into newer songs, the song blew up for like 2 weeks, and then it fell off the face of the fucking earth. LiAngelo Ball, for some reason, came out with music, and he came out with a song called Squeaker. GELO kind of needs to, prove a little bit more to me outside of just this one song. Like, it's cool. It's a great song, because, it really captures in like a particular kind of like time period. I want to say, if it's a good song, but like, I'm not coming back to it all that much, and I feel like not a lot of people have, outside of just that 1 week when it showed up. And at least the next song that did come out, that actually really surprised me early in the month, Pink Dreads by DDG and PlaqueBoyMax. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, what the fuck, how can you like a DDG song? How could you like a song by PlaqueBoyMax? Well, I don't know. See, I don't watch DDG or PlaqueBoyMax like that, but some with this song, it works. And I don't know what it is. I feel like it's that hook, like that little hook that DDG has on the song. Like, it's catchy. It's only 2 minutes, so it's like a really short song. While I'm not a fan of PlaqueBoyMax's like streams or whatnot, like, it's just not for me. I will say, I did see the like part of the stream where they were recording the song on stream, and I will say, what PlaqueBoyMax kind of has going on for him right now, I think is really unique, and I think is different from like if you have like an artist who streams on Twitch and then they were to do the exact same shit. To me, I feel like it's a little different, because it's a kind of like, we already know they make music. I feel like with, a streamer, you know, kind of basing their whole content around it. And especially with how he's been getting like other artists like Central C to come in. I think Uno the Activist was another artist he had come on this month. I know what you're saying is, oh, it's a TikTok song. You're just liking it because it's a TikTok song. For one, I didn't even hear it from TikTok. I heard it from Instagram, okay? Who cares? You may like a song just because you heard it off TikTok. That's fine. Bro, you know how many songs I heard from Vine? And like, those were some huge songs back in the day. And I guess kind of going into albums, the first big album that came out this year was WHAM by Lil Baby. And to me, the album was just a giant fucking snooze fest. I can't lie. This isn't my favorite song off the project, but it is, I think, a highlight that, you know, was kind of big. It popped for like a weekend and then it dipped. But, you know, Dumb and Dumber, I think it's a pretty cool song. I can't lie. Young Thug's first verse since he got out of jail, I mean, that's great. And then, you know, Future on here, I mean, you already know that shit was gonna be a banger. The only issue I really kind of have with the song, though, is that they all kind of approach the song in the exact same way. The only thing that's kind of different, I guess, is just the voices and just how enjoyable they kind of are flowing on it. Not a bad song, but again, it's a highlight. It's a song I've been listening to quite a bit this month. I would say probably the second biggest album to come out this month was none other than Balloonerism by Mac Miller. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm the biggest Mac Miller fan, because in reality, I'm not. I've only started getting into Mac Miller's music recently, and the one thing that I love about listening to Mac Miller's music is that when he's like, I don't know what it is, but when he's rapping, for some reason I'm just hooked. He has such a way, I feel like, of just hooking you into like what he's saying and making you feel exactly how he's feeling, especially, you know, when it came to Swimming and when it came to Circles, those being, I would say, his best projects. It is his second posthumous release, and it's unique because this album technically was made like over a decade ago. This was kind of squeezed in between that time period of watching movies with the sound off and Faces. Circles, that's a pretty dark album. That's a pretty sad album. Balloonerism, this shit is dark, bro. And it's kind of interesting how this was part of his mindset, at least around that time. And the fact as well that he wanted to release this album, you know, way back then, and just it never saw the light of day, I think is quite interesting. But I won't lie, I feel like heard the album too much to really kind of construct exactly, you know, the whole kind of narrative that he is pushing. I get some of it being like scared of being famous in a way, or being called famous, or saying that he made it because it's just going to make him lazy at the end of the day. And as well, I know throughout the album he kind of does take a bit of a third person point of view, looking at like other artists, while I haven't even figured out who those artists necessarily are. I know that is part of some of these songs, but for me, the one song off Balloonerism that I have been listening to quite a bit has just been $5 Pony Rides. I don't even know if this is my favorite song off the album. To me, the hook is great, the rap and performance, it's great, and then of course I feel like another big standout when it does come to Mac Miller's music is that this isn't the case for all of his music, but I feel like this is the case for most of it. But a big highlight of his music for me is that he actually uses instruments, and I feel like it makes him stand out a little bit more than I feel like compared to the other artists. And yet again, it's proving that you can do a posthumous release right, and I mean, Mac Miller's estate has proven it for the second time in a row. And I fucking forgot about this single that did come out recently, but Blick song, the remix by Latto, featuring Playboi Carti. I mean, I enjoyed the original version for the most part, but that Playboi Carti verse is just, it's something different. But that beat is immaculate. Like the bells and the fucking drums and shit. Oh my gosh, dude. But the next album that did come out in January was ESTG with I Ain't Feeling You. To me, this is actually ESTG's best project since, what time was that? When was that last album come out? Was it 2020? I'm forgetting the name of it. Oh my gosh, but I love that project. And to me, while every other ESTG album's pretty much the same, this one doesn't fare any differently, but I don't know what it is, but I feel like he put something different into this music. For one, my biggest complaint when it does come to ESTG is that I really don't like it when this man sings. He can't sing and can't sing angelically at the same time. Unlike Future, where I feel like Future cannot sing, but Future can somehow sing angelically. But to me, my favorite song off here has to be Do My Own Stunts. For me, the best part about this song is that beginning portion with that slow build up. And then once it just comes all around, like it's a banger, dude. And it does kind of ultimately lead up into a typical ESTG song, but I feel like it's that first part where it's just building up for the beat. It sells that song for me. And of course, we have the biggest album off of this whole month of January that I'm really happy came out, and that would be none other than Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. And of course, this is the conclusion to his trilogy of After Hours, Dawn FM, and now, why did I just forget the name of it? But not only is it the conclusion of the trilogy, it's the conclusion to The Weeknd, which I did hear about a while ago, but then like nothing was said after that, and I was like, oh well, maybe it was just a rumor. Even like with some promotional material kind of leading up to it, I was kind of thinking like, is this gonna be his final album? Because he put up one video where it was like all his music videos, but it was going from everywhere from House of Balloons all the way to Dawn FM, and I was like, wait, is this? And it's playing like the sad music, and I'm like, wait a minute, are we? What is this? What are you trying to do to me? And ironically, when this album came out, I was actually streaming and recording next week's video, and that's when I saw the biggest red flag. Oh, what the hell? The Weeknd changed his album cover. Oh, 22 songs? Ooh.
That's too much. That's too much.
Oh, hold on. How long is the album?
2.5 hours.
125. Oh,
It's definitely his last one.
Yeah, you better deliver. So immediately when I see 22 tracks, or let alone an hour 25 for an album, I'm already feeling like it's gonna be a disaster. Thankfully, I was wrong all the way across with this album, because this album is amazing. And the biggest feat with this whole project is that he made a 22 track album work, and he made an hour 25 album work. For those who are I feel like a little confused on how at least After Hours and Dawn FM kind of tie into this album. After Hours, essentially, he's living a very sinful life just with his abuse of drugs, the way he treats women and whatnot, and ultimately it costs him his life towards the end of the album. With Dawn FM, in that album, it was more of him in like a purgatory kind of state. Oh, and Jim Carrey's fucking great on that album. With this one, he's reached the afterlife. But as he says in the very first track, there is no afterlife. So pretty much when it comes to this album, it feels as though it's him reflecting on his entire past and him kind of coming to terms with it and letting it go, while at the same time, the form of kind of afterlife that he does have, it's essentially just reincarnation. And I might as well get into it, but my favorite track on here is Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is just a phenomenal closer to just the album and his career. But you can tell it's really just a reincarnation kind of afterlife that he does have, where it's just a giant cycle, because the end of the song transitions all the way into his very first song off of House of Balloons, High for This, which House of Balloons, that's my favorite Weeknd project. There's other songs that I do really like. I really like Wake Me Up. I really like Reflections Landing. I love that Travis Scott feature. Enjoy the Show. That's a great Future feature as well. I would argue that's probably my second favorite track off the album. Take Me Back to LA really fit very well, especially connecting it with After Hours, since there was the song Escape from LA. And then of course, Timeless with Playboi Carti. That song's great. And I feel like the more I listen to this album, a lot other tracks that I didn't really care for, I think are actually gonna warm up to me in the end. But that would pretty much conclude the music for January. I know I kind of sped right through this, but I feel like there was a lot that did happen. As of when I'm recording this, the Grammys literally just happened. Yeah, not like us sweeping the Grammys for the most part. Shout out to Doechii for winning Rap Album of the Year. She deserves it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed that Charli XCX didn't really win Album of the Year. I was expecting that to happen, but yeah. But yeah, of course, if you got any suggestions for music, hey, let me know. I'm all ears, bro. Yeah, I'm just excited for the remainder of the year. I mean, if this month's an indicator, we're gonna have a good fucking year.
I will leave you 3 nights. Tonight was the first. Tonight you denied yourself, and thereby you suffer me to vanish up the lives of those you love.
Denied myself. You revel in my torture.
Upon the 3rd night, you will submit.